This
Let me know if
conference
you
will
guys can
now
hear
be recorded.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
me. Go to my. Okay, what are we gonna do? Today is our first session, right? So what we'll do now is, first of all, to do anything in any of the technology, basically, to learn the technology, first we can read the books, but you learn a lot when you start practicing. So I believe in practicing. So I'll go with the environment creation first, then we'll see the rest later. Okay. So to get the Salesforce environment, we have to go to developer.salesforce.com. Okay. And from here, you do a sign up. Okay. So when you're doing the sign up, it will ask you few details. One is first name, last name, your email ID, which is working mail ID, role, or yeah, what is your job role. You can choose anything. Okay, it won't ask you to provide any proof whether you are an administrator or an architect. You can choose a random role. You can give the company name, country, any country, postal code, and a username must be in the form of your company name, sorry, or in the form of an email. Okay, so I will say, I'll just create mine. Why can't um, is just giving my working mail ID, gmail.com. Role, an architect, company, I'll say SFDC. See, I'm not working in a company called SFDC, but it will take. Okay, I'm from India, postal code 560043, and the email. So the username, I can give anything. Let us say I'll name it as Ram at, give the batch number. I don't remove anything, remember anything. Uh, let's say I'll give the batch number as 250 at gmail.com. Okay, and I'll say, so sign up. So if it really works, then it will shoot an email to my mail ID. Let's see if I get an email. Okay, it says, okay, I'm almost there, please check your email. So go to your email. So generally you will get it in the support sorry, update itself. You need to wait for a minute. Actually, the connection is little low, little loose, so it will take some time. In the meanwhile, let me delete my unnecessary mails. I have given the right mail ID, right?
Ram,
Yep.
so directly we'll go to the developer site and create that
Yeah, it is
environment,
for
or we have any other options?
this is the simplest way, right? You go to developer.salesforce.com and do a sign up. Let me.
So they won't charge anything for us.
No, no, this is for free. You will get something like this. So it's taking time actually. So you'll get an email, something like this. Okay. So once you do it, then you have to click on verify account. But the moment I click on verify account, it will ask you to set up a password, because here, if you remember, like I have given my detail, but nowhere I set my password, right? So once this is done, then uh, so you will be directly logged into the system. Okay, once you are verifying the password, it will say you create your password, I mean, and create your security question. Once you are done with that, then you will be able to log into the system. So next time you don't have to use this developer.salesforce.com. Instead, you go to login.salesforce.com. From there, so actually I have created I do have lot many IDs anyways. So for me, it doesn't matter whether this send me an email or not. So next time you have to give your credentials. Directly it will ask you to give username and password. You give the same credentials that you have created and log into the system. Okay, this is actually a classic view, but when you log in for the first time, it will be taking you to the lightning experience. So this is what you'll see. Okay, I go to a setup. So this is what the first screen that you'll see the moment you created uh, an org in Salesforce. See, I'm not saying that the moment you created a credentials. I'm saying you have created an org. Why? Because this is the place. It's like you are occupying a small portion of Salesforce server. Of course, it is similar to your Google server, where whenever the moment I created a Gmail, then I'll have some 15 GB allocated in the Google Drive for me, right? But that I can use it for myself and I can share it with someone. But here I have a boundary where I can speak with myself. That's it. And at the same time, if I want, I can create one more user and we can play with that user, because Salesforce is for business purpose. Now here also it is allowing you to share with other orgs, then there is no point, right? But as we have to learn, so it has given us a portion. It's like a basic, I would say a trial pack kind of. Okay, but the best advantage of this going with this developer edition is this trail stays for lifelong. Okay, when someone asks me, okay, is there any other way to go with this? Yes, you can go to salesforce.com website and do a sign up from here also. So the moment you try to do a sign up here, so when I say uh, okay, it has changed this. Should click on login. Okay, here also I can do it. Okay, I think they have removed. Actually, we can do a sign up from here also, from directly from the Salesforce website, from salesforce.com. But from here, if you are doing it, so it will be there only for 30 days. Then post that, it will be completely removed. But if you are doing the sign up from this developer.salesforce.com, it stays for a lifetime. Okay. Now, from this, fine. I got to know how to come into the system. But the problem is, see, I'm completely new to this terminology. So, are we gonna start the application directly? No, right? First of all, I should know what is this. So, the moment I come into a house, I can't directly jump into the kitchen and start cooking, right? First, I want to know, like, where is
Hello.
Asked you for a few minutes, or nobody is anybody able to hear?
I don't think so. I'm also unable to hear him.
Yeah, I think we lost him.
No, sir, not able to hear.
Hello. Hi. Can someone confirm me if I'm audible?
Yes, now you are audible.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
you're
raining
audible.
here.
Yeah,
Suddenly there is a
you're
power off. So I've switched to my mobile network. So now there won't be any droppage. Okay. Now, first of all, we'll see what is what in the screen, and then we'll speak about project creation from the next class. Okay. First of all, the moment I log in, as I have created this org, then I am in the system admin for this org. Okay. So in future we'll see how to create users and well manage. First of all, we need to see a schema. Right? Now, as I'm a system admin, I'm able to see the setup screen, object manager, all those things. I hope all you are able to see my screen now. But Ram, what if I'm an end user? I don't know what Salesforce is, so how does it look for me? So when an end user logs in, it will directly take him to an application where we have allowed him the access. So now, okay, end user, you're saying that he will by default log into the application. Then how do I log in as a system admin? So here there is something called app launcher. Okay, so if you click on that 9 dots, so it will show you the list of applications. I am clicking on view all. So it will show you the list of applications this user has access, or this the user has provided access by the system admin. See, I'm saying that this is not the list of applications that are there in the application. Sorry, on this org. These are the list of apps which are provided by my system admin to me. Which means, let us say in all these applications, my admin have decided, okay, Ram will have only access to this sales application and maybe this content application. Then only these two applications will be visible to me. So this will be controlled by my system admin. As of now, I am the system admin. I'm able to see almost all the applications. Now I'll go with the sales application. Ram, why sales application? This is one general application where everyone can understand very easily, and it will be easy for me to explain you also. Okay, that's the only thing. Now, so this is how your application looks in. Now, what is an application? I'm speaking more about application and all, but what is an application? Application is nothing but a collection of data with a well defined process. This is what I call it as an application. It can be anything, it can be any technology, right? It's a mixture of data. For example, if you go to banking sector, so you'll have mixture of data over there. I have customer information, their accounts information, their transactions information, employee information, their loans and information, loan applications, or many things, but they have a well defined process, right? It is not like Ram. If I Ram goes to the bank, if I say that, hey, I need 10 lakhs from my account, first they'll say whether I have that balance in my account or not. Then they'll think about whether giving it or not, right? Likewise, they have a well defined process, right? So that process we can build it in Salesforce. And as I told you in the first session, Salesforce is one of the wonderful technologies, but I won't say Salesforce is the only solution for your problems. So when do I need to go to Salesforce? This is one interview question. At least once in 10 members ask this question. Hey, you are speaking more about Salesforce. Can you tell me at what point of time I have to take Salesforce? Then the answer could be, if you have a mixture of data with a well-defined process, then Salesforce will be an ultimate solution for sure. Okay, because we can define the entire process using the technology. Okay. Okay, I think we are deviating. Now, first one. This is called a Salesforce logo. If we want to update it with our personal application logos, we can do it. We'll see later. Next thing is, okay, we'll go come from the top itself. Now, there is something called search bar. For example, let us say I know there is a record with name oil, but I don't know in which table is created in Salesforce. The tables will call them as objects. I don't know in which object it is stored. So I will click on enter button now. So what it will do is it will search for this particular string in all the objects that are available in my organization. Okay, so it may not be a name of the record. For example, if you see for account, it says United Oil. Oil is there. In opportunities, oil is there. But in context, oil is not here. It will search for that particular string in almost all the fields that is there in that object, and then it will show you the result. So as it is searching for this string throughout my organization, as I have created the organization, this is called as global search, right? So for example, if I search for oil in my Google search, what it will do is it will give you everything which is there in the website, right? Each and every keyword, sorry, each and every web link which has a keyword called oil. Your global search defines the same way. So Google doesn't have any limit, so it will give me everything. But Salesforce Global Search has a limit. This will be limited to my organization. The world for this global search is this org that I have created. It can't search into other orgs and show me. Okay. Any questions? Anyone? And now let us say I have decided. Okay, this is the record that I need. So United Oil and Gas Corporation. By the way, these records will be there in yours also. Salesforce will give you some dummy records as well. Now I have decided, okay, this is the one that I'm working on. So I opened the details, made some updates, things are working fine. And I want to work on the same record when I'm back. Let's say tomorrow I'm going on vacation or something. So I want the moment I open the system, I don't want to again go to accounts tab, open this record or search from here. Instead, what I can do is I can simply make this record as my favorite. Now, next time, wherever the tab, whatever might be, whatever the page I might be, click on this favorite list, open whatever I have made it as favorite. It will directly take me to that link. Work. Okay. How many favorites you can make? I think five. You can make 5 records or 10 records maximum, not more than that. And let's say my job is done. Say edit favorites, remove whatever you don't need. I don't want this. I don't even want this one also. I just want only one. Okay, clear? Then one step later. For example, if I want to create a contact, so by the way, these are called as tabs. What is a job of a tab? Tab helps me to access the record. To make it simple, I'll open a simple Excel sheet. Let's see the conversion between Salesforce and Excel sheet. So in Excel, what you'll have first, I will have sheets, right? You'll have multiple sheets, correct? And then every sheet will have table, correct? So I'll say table. Then every table will have rows and columns, right? Now this is about Excel. What do we call in Salesforce? These are the technical terms that we are going to call. First, table is called as object. Row is called as record. Column is called as field. Okay, I'll explain in detail about the same sheet tomorrow before we start the project. Now, sheet what is the purpose of sheet? Sheet helps you to access the table records, right? Table of records. We'll call them as tabs. Okay. So Excel, if you consider one Excel sheet, one Excel file, then it will be called as an application as well. So this is my application. These are the tabs. Tabs helps me to access the records of that particular object. Okay. Now, for example, if I want to create a contact record, I should go to Contacts tab, click on New button, give all the fields that are available in the contact. So I have some around 20-30 fields, right? But let's say I don't have much time to create this contact by giving all this. Instead, I can go to this plus symbol, choose New Contact. It will hardly ask me 4 or 5 fields that I need, and if I save, a record will be created. So these actions are called as quick actions, which got converted to global actions. So we will see what is a quick action, how do we convert into global action as well in future. Okay. And if you need any trainings and all from Salesforce, you can go to Salesforce Learning Paths, where I think you might have to pay around $2,000 to Salesforce to learn this. You can go with that as well if you go to the guidance center. Then go to the question mark. In the question mark, you'll have help and trainings. So here, this is a place. Let's say if there is a feature which is defined by Salesforce, somehow it's not working in my organization, or if I need a support from Salesforce support team, then I can go to the help and training, raise a case as well. But as we are using free edition, we cannot raise the cases. If you are going with the paid users, paid licensed versions, then we can raise a case with Salesforce. And there comes the biggest part, that is, I would say, the controller, which is gear. That is why it has gear option. So this is where I can go to setup, the gear icon, which helps me to navigate to a setup screen where I can control the entire organization. I can see what is there in the system. Okay, for example, I want to know what is this all about. So I will say company information. When I go to my company information, it will show me everything: who created this org, what is the company organization name, how much amount of space I have, how many licenses I have. Each and everything will be shown here. So I think this can be seen only from the setup screen. Okay. Likewise, if you want to create a new application or create a new object, new tab, new feature, new automation rule, new validation, everything, you should go to this setup screen only. Then Ram, I can see one more setup. What is this? So Salesforce first came up with Sales Cloud and then came up with Service Cloud. So in the service setup, you'll see the features which are related to Service Cloud, like omni channels, and also we'll see these Service Cloud features also, like case management. How do we manage cases and all in future? Okay. Then there comes one more link, that is Developer Console. So what is this? So this is for the people who wants to be a developers. So if you are a developer already, worked in other technologies, you might have used some editors, right? Like Visual Studio, Sublime, or Eclipse. Very worst case, Notepad, right? So in Salesforce, we do have a default editor that we call it as Developer Console. In the Developer Console, we'll start writing the code. We can query the records, we can edit the records, we can delete the records as well using our Developer Console. Okay. So we will see in depth when we start when I start speaking about the development. So I'm just giving a heads up. Okay, these are the features that we are going to have, because I want you to get used to the system first.
So developer
Then if you see,
console,
I'm already getting some notification.
developer
Sorry, yeah, go
console,
ahead.
developer console, query language console, or it is a programming language console, like any programming language it uses. So you mentioned.
Everything.
Mhm.
You can
You,
create a class also. For example, if you, so it will use Apex. No, it's the queries. We can get Apex classes, which is based out of Java. We can define the user interface components. We can write the automation rules from here as well. Okay, it has, you can do anything and everything using a developer console. I can delete the records. I can insert the records from the here from console by writing some scripts. Okay. Any is that clear?
Yes.
Administrator. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, perfect. Then next one is notifications. Whenever you get notifications, this numbers will change. First time when you log in, you won't see anything. So we will cover up this notification section as well in future. Post that you have a small teddy bear symbol. If you want to change it to your image, you can change your images as well by going to your personal settings. So if I go to settings, then you will see some information like my personal information. I can see my advanced user information. I can change my password. I can grant login access to someone else in my organization who is my admin or Salesforce admin, and I can reset my security token whenever I'm doing bulk transactions. All these things can be done using your settings feature from your profile. Okay, these things we will discuss in future again. So today I'm just giving you a very high level description. Any questions till now, anyone?
Hello, Ra.
Yeah, Shiva.
So we have a couple of modules, right? So as you show in the first screen, so I
Yes.
think sales. So
Yes.
we're dealing with only sales, or we'll deal with any other modules as well.
No, it depends. See, basically these. So as of now, I'm picking up sales. We'll see what is service as well, and it's just these are the different applications which is given by Salesforce. Okay, so for example, sales and sales console both are same. Only thing is the UI differs. Okay, so likewise every application has console. So we'll see what is this console feature, how does it works also. Okay, but my intention is not to go with this sales or service, because if I go with these standard applications and go to in-depth review, to be honest you won't understand anything. Because for example, if I go to accounts, open any account, I can see the list of contacts under this account, which means there is some relation between contacts and accounts, right? So first of all, you should know what is that relationship. How do I create that relationship? What are the different relations that we have? In which condition, which relation you have to pick up, correct? So that is one reason I'm just showing you the existing definitions. But instead of drilling down these applications, what we'll do is we will build an application with a base strategy, so that we'll get to know what all the different features that are available in Salesforce, and which feature has to be used at what point of time. Because like any other technology, even in Salesforce also, you'll for every problem you'll have a minimum of 3 to 4 solutions. Very minimum, bare minimum 3 to 4 solutions. So post the session, you should be in a position to pick the right solution for the problem that is given by your business, right? So I will guide you to that level. I'm not gonna stick to a low level where you have to see only sales or service or marketing applications. Clear?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Anyone else?
Hello,
Ram,
Raj.
one.
Hello.
Sorry. Go ahead, Akila. Akila, go ahead.
Is there any particular limitation like we can create only limitations to create like applications or tabs?
Uh, okay. I will tell you in this way. We do have limitations, but for the free edition at least. If you go to schema, sorry, not schema. What is it? I forgot. Company information, schema builder, environment, system overview. So if I go to the system overview, here it will show you the limit, but this edition is more and more than enough to create your application. For example, this will show you what is your limitations on your applications. So as of now, it shows me that boss, you can create a maximum of 10. I have created 2 already. And if I scroll down, it says I can create 100 custom objects or custom tabs. It says I have a limit of, I have created 8. Likewise, it says I can use one more license. I have used one license itself. Okay. So you do have limitations, and even when you are buying a license, also based on the license that you are buying from Salesforce, you will have limits. They'll say you can create maximum of 5 applications or 10 applications based on the license that you are purchasing from Salesforce. Okay, that will be there in your license document, which when you are buying it. And of course, you can look into the system overview as well. And
Yeah,
if
fine.
you scroll down, uh, code used. See, it will even count the number of characters that I'm writing in my code, Apex and all. And if I scroll on somewhere, it should show me the list of objects as well. List of objects. Not list of objects, the data that I can store. Yeah. The maximum space that is given to us in this free edition is 5 MB. But trust me, this you can happily use it to learn everything.
Yeah, fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
By the way, even if you complete the entire course, also you won't even use more than 3 MB.
Okay, yeah.
It's not like other technologies where you'll have everything will be consuming too much of data. So every record will maximum it will consume around 1 KB, 1 KB or 2 KB, the maximum size of a record in Salesforce. So it won't be a problem.
Yeah, okay, Ram. Thank you.
Ram, one question. Ram, can you hear me?
Yeah, Balu.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Is the training going to be focused mainly on development, or you plan to cover architecture aspects as well?
Um, I would say everything. I mean, it's a how people are taking it, because so the way I will go as, for example, I'll show you how the application starts in the organization. Like, let's say if someone asks me, okay, Ram, build an application for me for this XYZ feature that I'm using in my in an organization, then we'll see how the initiation starts. We'll see the descript we'll gather the requirements, and then we'll start building the application right from scratch, which will cover each and every feature. For example, if I'm discussing about a feature, we'll see where it fits. That is where your architectural discussions will happen, right? So that will be covered as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And as I mentioned, I don't feel like, okay, why Ram is repeating this again and again. I'm not sure whether you will be able to learn everything or not, because that depends on your interest. But I'm pretty much sure once you are done with the sessions, if you go out for a job, if you see a requirement, all of you people will definitely in a position to show or at least come up with a right solution. Like example, whether it might be a custom component or it might be a standard configuration solution. So you will have, okay, so there is an automation here. I have to send an email alert. So to send an email alert, I can use a workflow, I can write a process builder, I can write a flow, I can even write a workflow approval process, or even a trigger as well. Now for this requirement, out of these 5 solutions, what is the right solution? You can come up with, you will definitely come up with the right point. And then post that, how to do that, it depends on your practice. That is where I can't guarantee, because couple of people will initially say that, okay, this session is very simple, let me practice today, I have something else today, so let me take that as a priority. I will do the practice after 2 days. Please don't take it in that way, because after 2 days, especially admin features, you will definitely forget. If you want to try, you can give a try. So after, let's say after creation of object, if you feel that, okay, I'll do the same thing after 2 days, trust me, you won't remember anything, because admin is all about navigating between multiple screens. So it looks very simple, but when you are practicing, it is complicated. Okay, I'm not giving you scared, but yeah, that's the fact. So that is one reason why I'm asking you to just spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes after the session every day. That is more and more than enough. for clearing your certification or either for clearing your interview also. Okay, Shiva, you're trying to ask something?
Yeah. So first we'll go with the admin only, not in the developers, right? So
No,
developers
no,
will
no,
be
no,
the
no, no.
second
Actually,
bit.
you have to go with the admin because, as I said in the last session, developer is a person who should be aware of admin, right? Unless until I know the pros and cons in an admin features, I cannot. There is no point in going with the development because, again, the same example I'll say. Sending an email alert to send an email, I have five features in the system, and only one feature is from development. Four features are there from admin. So if these four features are not eligible to send that email for that requirement, then only I have to go with the last one, right? Which has come from the development, right? Now, first of all, if I don't even know what are these four features, then how do I judge whether this can be done by trigger or not? And there is another one. It's not about using a development feature. You have to think about the maintenance as well, right? Because when you speak with development maintenance, like if you people are from US, you might definitely have seen this market. So if they are paying around 50K for admin, they'll pay not less than 80K or 90K for developers. So if an application went to maintenance and it has too many development features unnecessarily built by the developers without any reason, then unnecessarily have to I mean, give 40K more, right? Because I need to have a developer there. But if the application is well defined using admin features itself, then even the business will store lesser amount, right? The maintenance cost reduces. So that is where your architectural ideas or thoughts should come up. Okay, and duration, it is around 40 to 45 sessions. So it again goes up or goes low. Any other questions, anyone?
So 40 to
Yeah.
45 sessions, you are saying each session 1 hour,
Yes.
not more than that, right? Yeah, plus or minus 5 or
More
10.
than that, you won't be interested actually.
Yeah.
You'll get bored after an hour, at least with my session. I mean,
So
I believe
for
after 40
40.
days you lose. Sorry, after 40 minutes you'll start losing the interest. So I don't want to break that interest. So I'll take 40 of 1 hour max. And the other 20 minutes, I'll go with the general discussions about your interview questions or certification questions and all. This you may not notice because I won't say that, hey, I'm asking you an interview question now. You please be alert, kind of. During the session itself, I'll cover those concepts with the flow. Okay. Any questions?
So what
Anyone?
this means
Yeah.
it goes
For
two and a
45
half
sections.
After this
Sorry.
training, after this training, what certification we can attempt for?
Uh, so for now, you can go with two certifications, either admin 201 or developer PD1. So after admin, if you are taking only admin sessions, then you go with admin 201. And if you are taking development sessions as well, then you can go with PD1. So after 20 days, we'll be completing the admin. So post that, maybe you might have to take 2 3 days break, and you can go with the admin. And for PD1, you take a break. I mean, break of a week or so, because there it involves development as well, right? So you do
Okay.
a better practice because certification is not for free in Salesforce. You have to pay $200 again to Salesforce websites.
Yeah.
Okay, and last one but not the least, because it is a little important because it's a financial term, I will give you a discounted voucher as well at the end. Don't ask me how much, because even I'm not sure. That I need to figure out from my organization. So my organization sometimes gives free trainings and all. So during that time, you'll be getting some discounted vouchers. So I will give you those discounted vouchers when I get it. I
Okay.
think the one that is I'm having is expired already. I think I might give you somewhere around mid of September. Sorry, mid of November. I'm really sorry. So by then, I think you will be ready for the certification for sure. Because there is no point even if I'm giving now, because you won't be able to do it, and you never know when that voucher will expire. Like it has very short deadlines.
Okay, got
Okay.
it. So, yeah, for the developer part, are there any prerequisites like you should be knowing some basics of the programming language or anything?
You should know basics of object-oriented programming at least. Like I would say, before I start the development session, if you spend around 1 hour, not every day, just before we start the entire development, if you spend 1 hour, then you will be able to understand the concepts that I'm discussing. If you are able to understand the concepts, then of course, once you practice, you can go with the flow.
Okay. Yeah. And last question, sorry. I want to
That's
go towards the consultant kind of roles because right now my current role is also in the same kind of role, like a solution architect kind of role. So,
okay.
what is, yeah, I would like to go towards the, I'm not into the development. Uh,
That is fine.
so,
But you should
yeah,
know the features of development actually. Like if you want to be a solution architect, I mean any
yeah,
architect, whether you code or not, because for me in my organization, unless until it is pretty much required, I won't write logics. I think from past 3 years, unless until the design is very much complicated, need to speak with 20-30 systems, I won't jump into the low level coding and all. That will be given to my team members, because once my design is done, I'll ask them to work it. But you should be always thorough with the concepts, because you
okay,
never know when people will ask, say, hey, can I write a batch? You should know where it should be. So for
okay,
me it's okay, because I'm from past 12 years, close to 12 years, I'm into the same area, so I can go back and forth. But even if you are a solution architect, I suggest you should be aware of the concepts, whether you code or not, no code.
yeah, yeah, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now,
Ram, mm.
sorry, go on.
No, 45 sessions you told us. So admin development and if you're covering the lightning as well, like 45 is the
Okay,
maximum
if
sessions
you
will be the
did I
45.
show you, have I no, no, once again, did I show you anything related to classic? No, right? Everything will be in lightning only. Even the development is in lightning
Okay.
only. Don't worry.
That means Salesforce is completely cloud-based. Everything works is with
Yes.
browser-based, no
Yeah.
Lightning,
Okay.
no.
It's not about cloud. Basically, we have two features here. One is lightning and the other one is classic. Classic is very old. Salesforce came up with lightning feature somewhere around mid of 2013 or early stage of 2014. Since then, 99% of the organizations are using lightning only. Now, Ram, which means Salesforce is not supporting Classic? No, it is not like that. We will have Classic features as well. Let's say if you have built any Classic features, if you need any support, Salesforce will support that as well. But it will always suggest to go with Lightning, because it is the UI and all is very rich. And during the sessions, I will go back and forth. We'll discuss about the features that are there in Classic, and then I'll show you the features that are there in Lightning, and I'll show you the difference as well. Because end of there are key points that you should know. It's not because backend it is, see, end of the day it is just some tables. You are playing with the tables. This is what I believe with any system, any technology. You'll have some table at the backend, and how it is showing to the end user is what matters, right? So if you are aware of classic also, then it will be good. So I will discuss about few features in classic as well whenever required, which is still in use in few organizations. Okay. Sorry, I think I stopped someone. Great. Now I'll go with very simple sales application, because we still have 15 minutes. We'll see the flow, how the sales process is defined in Salesforce. And this is the only session where I'll discuss with the sales application now, at least. Post this, I'm not going to come back. After maybe 2 weeks, I'll come back to your standard application, sales and service. We'll see how these automations are done. Today, we are going to look this as an end user, and then when we are coming back later after few days, after 2 weeks, we'll see how it works as a developer. Okay. Now, first thing in the sales process, first thing that you'll do is marketing, correct? So whenever you are doing marketing, again, it won't come for free with a, right? You have to spend some amount, right? And that you have to capture it somewhere. So that is where we'll use campaigns object. Campaigns object is the place where we'll capture the marketing details. We'll create a new record. Click on new button. Say maybe my campaign name is um, a webinar. How much revenue you're expecting, what is the budget you have allocated for this campaign, because I have to spend some money, right? And what is the actual cost, what is the response you got, all these things. I'm making everything as zero. I'll leave it as is. I just need one record. I have created a record. Now the moment I created a record, there are two sub tabs. One is related and the other one is details. Related, you'll see all the child record that is associated. We'll see how to get the related, what is this and all later. Then there is something called details. This is something very important now. So here it says campaign owner, the person who is taking care of the record is nothing but the owner. Okay. All the time, owner may not be the same. It can be changed. See, if you see here, there is a change owner option. And on the left side, these are the fields that we have modified, and it shows me pencil symbol. But on the right side, these are all zeros, and it is not allowing me to modify as well, right? Even if I edit, if I want to edit, I'll click on edit. Even if I edit also, these are all read only fields. Why they are read only fields, we'll get to know in a minute. Okay. By looking at this webinar, let us say I got one inquiry. Mr. Shiva, he wants to buy the product for his organization. So to capture the inquiries, we need to capture the inquiries also, right? To capture the information of inquiries, I'll go with a tab called lead. Lead is a place where we'll capture the inquiry information. I'll click on new button on the lead, and I'll say Shiva is the person. Let us say he came from Altalk. Altalk is one of my friend's company. Very small organization, but of course it's a good organization. And let's say he needs some 10 or 15 products. So I fill the basic details. I'll say this. Okay. Now this is the inquiry. So once I get the inquiry, I will ask one of my sales agents to speak with Shiva. So let us say that is nothing but the owner. So I'll pick my lead owner as Ram. So he is the person who will be speaking with Shiva. But inquiry to my customer, I have to perform some actions. Right? I need to call him. I have to send an email. So all those actions will be captured under activities. Whatever the job that I'm doing to capture one question, that is, Shiva, how come you got to know about our product? Then Shiva will say, hey Ram, I have seen your webinar around 10 days back that you have scheduled in your organization and all. I'll say, okay. Then I'll come to this campaign and then I'll say campaign history. I'll add this record to the campaign, because end of the day, matter it money matters, right? Let's say if the marketing is not generating me any revenue, then there is no point. So how this is getting generated a revenue? I need to link up my inquiries there. So I will link my webinar to this. I'll say next, click on save, send the status, click on save. The moment I did this, go back to my webinar record, refresh, go to the details. What's the problem? As I have too many emails, sometimes I will hit with the cache memory issues. Next time we'll do it from your one of your screens. Should get updated. Why is it not okay? 1 second now. Okay, now it will come. Okay, generally what I do, I will log out. Once you log out and log in, it will reflect immediately. And this will never happen for the end user. This will happen. This offer is only for the developers who is developing it. See, I got one lead, so this got automated. Now, let us say Shiva is interested. Every lead will have 4 statuses: open, not contacted, working, contacted. If I'm working with the Shiva to convert him to my business, I'll say working, contacted. I'll say the status as marked as complete. And then you have close, not converted. For example, if Shiva is not at all interested in buying the product, I'll say close, not converted. If he is interested, I'll say closed, converted. I'll say closed, converted. Why to take in negative way in the first session? So if I say closed, converted, now which means Shiva is interested in buying my product, which means he is going to become my customer, right? So if he wants to be a customer of mine, then I have to capture his information somewhere in the place where I will capture the information of my customers, where I have to clone the details. Instead of doing that, instead of maintaining duplicate, because we are paying for license, right? Even every byte matters. So what Salesforce tells us, it has given me an automation feature where I can convert this inquiry to my customer. When I say select converted status, what it'll do is it is gonna split this uh, lead record into 3 different records. One will be into account object, one will be into contact object, one will be into my opportunity object. I'll simply click on convert. But before I go, what is account? Account is nothing by my customer. But Shiva is the inquiry, right? But how come Alltalk became my customer? Can someone tell me? Why not Shiva? Why Alltalk?
We are getting
Because
business.
Because
We are getting
it's a
business.
company, right?
perfect.
Company.
Of course, Shiva is has reached out. Shiva is my inquiry. I completely agree. But Shiva is buying the product for Alltalk, so Alltalk will become my customer, right? And who is Shiva? Shiva is a point of contact for Alltalk for this particular deal. So Shiva will be created in the contact information. And opportunity, which is a revenue generation record. This is where you'll capture the requirements of this particular transaction. I'll click on convert. Okay. So it has created. Now if I go to leads, it has created all 3 records. If I go to leads now, so it won't show me the Shiva record anymore. But when I go to my webinar, which is the campaign, if I refresh, go to details, see numbers got changed. Can you see the change in the numbers? Now again, I'll go to my account, which is Altalk, which is created just now. It has a point of contact and it has an opportunity. So I'll open the opportunity, because if I go to account level information, there are a lot of fields like what is the phone number, account side details, and all. So I'm not going in depth. I'll go to the details. I'll go to account opportunity. Then again, if I want to become your customer, it doesn't mean that I will buy the product. It is a prospect. Now here again, you'll have negotiations, like multiple negotiations. You'll have multiple stages. You'll have. If I say okay, I'm done with the product, then closed. I'll change it as closed converted. For example, let us say this prospect worth is maybe $10,000. When I save this, see it says expected revenue is just $1,000 out of 10,000 amount. Why? Because I'm in the prospecting stage, right? So the probability changes along with the stage. So if I change this prospecting to maybe value proportion, automatically the probability will be changed. And here, if you see, even the expected revenue also gets changed. And the same thing will be reflected here also. See, value proportions, all these things. Total one opportunity, which means it just show me the total value of the opportunities, but it is total one opportunity is zero because the deal is not closed. If I say deal is closed, which means I have sold the product, got the money, then the last one, the amount of revenue generated by this campaign will be shown here, which means each and every stage is captured. Now, at any point of time when I generate the reports, right? So I can simply say, okay, how many leads I have generated in this month from this campaign? It will say 100. Out of 100, how many became my customer? Let's say 75. Out of 75, how many opportunities I have won? It says 30. Okay, what about 45? At what stage these 45 opportunities got lost? Each and everything can be captured very easily using the funneling reportings. So those things we'll see in future. Now, one question comes. Okay, Ram, he is anyways, he is aware of system, so he is just jumping back and forth and showing us some numbers. But how these numbers are coming here? That is one question that is sticking in your mind, right? That is where we are going to learn the concepts, because instead of doing a reverse engineering right on the day one, which you won't understand anything, what we'll do is these, unless until there are some relations at the back end, unless until there are some automation rules written at the back end, these numbers won't come, right? So that is what we are going to learn from tomorrow. We'll see what are the automations that are available, how these schema can be built, how these tables are structured, how these relations are defined at the backend. We'll build the automations, and then we'll come back here to the system, and maybe after 2 weeks or so, by then I don't have to tell you, you will say that okay, Ram, this feature has been used at this particular point of time, and that is where these numbers are coming. Okay, so that is what is my intention. That is why I said let's go with the custom application first, and then we'll go with the standard applications after 2 weeks. Any questions, anyone? 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Hi Ram, this is Arjun. My question is actually I'm from arts background. Should I require any technical knowledge to learn this course in case for development?
Admin, you don't have to. For development, you should be aware of some object oriented programming language, but admin, you don't have to learn anything.
Okay, thank you. While in development, should I learn any coding language?
That is what I'm saying. For admin, you don't have to learn anything, but coming to development, you should be, it will be good if you have a basic knowledge on object oriented programming.
Okay, thank you.
I will tell you what is I mean, what all the screen documents to look at before we start the development. Okay.
Okay.
Ram, quick
Okay.
question.
So I'll stay for
You
5 more minutes if anyone has any questions. Sorry.
Yeah. You have converted that lead, you have attached it to the campaign, right? So once
Yes.
you went to the campaign, where we can see those, the company and all those details, you have shown that one, the company
That
named,
numbers. Yes, that
not
is
the,
where we need to learn the no no that is where okay. So in the related, it will be visible. You will see the opportunities and campaign members in the related list of campaign record. Can you see the screen?
No, we cannot. I cannot see this.
Oh, sorry. I think I might have stopped. Actually, I'm time out. Okay. Let's see. I'm on. Where is this? Webinar is my campaign. If I go to
Yeah,
related, you can see the opportunities and the leads. Campaign members are nothing but the leads, and
yeah.
opportunities also you can see. Okay, and this is little far. Okay, I mean I don't want
Okay,
to
fine.
disturb the section. Let's go with the basic initially. I'm really sorry to break you. Okay,
No problem. No problem.
but we will discuss about that. Don't worry, I'm not gonna miss anything, not even a single concept. Don't worry. Okay,
Hi,
so that's all
hi
for today.
Ram.
Sorry, go on.
Hi Ram. This is Monisha.
Yeah, Manisha.
Okay. This is very new to me. I didn't know about these topics, and I'm from the different stream that is civil. Can I able to do all this by learning this
uh,
program?
okay, do you know how to use Excel sheet?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
You leave the rest to me. I'll take care.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you so much. Okay. Thank you. I'm very new to this, and it was a little hard to know the terminologies of what you're saying. So that
No, no,
is my
that's what.
issue.
So today, no, actually, today I'm showing you as an how it works for an end user. Okay,
Okay,
which means end user is a person who already got trained. Correct. Unless
okay,
until I train him, he won't understand. Correct.
okay,
Uh, which means he already got trained. He knows everything. Right. So I have shown the application as an end user, but going forward, it's not like that. First of all, we should get trained in the system, right? Then only we'll go to that. Right, so I didn't started anything. We'll go right from a very basic model. Okay,
okay, okay.
no need to worry.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Don't worry.
Ram.
Yes,
So like when we create a lead, right? So these are all predefined workflows. So we need to create any screens, correct? Lead,
this
account,
automation role,
contact.
yes, you have to. I mean, if it is a standard features, if you are going with standard applications and all, you, I won't say you don't have to, because you might have to, based on your requirement. Like if they say that, okay, I want some automated emails with some different uh, features and all. Okay, sorry Shiva, actually it's raining here. Maybe that's the reason my audio is not that clear.
Correct, correct. So we have that problem. So uh, it's showing on the screen like poor connection sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect this, but from tomorrow I'll make sure there won't be any
Hmm.
glitches.
Oh yeah, no problem. So one more thing, Ram, actually. So lead, account, contact, and opportunity, and also prospect. Where this prospect will come in the after the lead, like after the opportunity. Opportunity, I think, is the final
Okay,
step, I
Salesforce
believe.
is little different. So every customer will become a prospect when he wants to buy, because a customer, he might need, he might come want to buy a product again, right? For them, if he wants to buy a product again, let us see. I I'm from some XYZ company. I bought maybe 100 laptops from ABC company. Okay, so 100 laptops are working fine. Now when I ask them to give me for the same price or lesser price, then it's a deal again for him, right? It's another transaction. So that times it becomes another opportunity for him, right? That is how it takes in Salesforce. It's not like, I do know in other technologies, you'll consider the lead as a prospect, but here every customer will become a prospect, will create a prospect. Okay, lead is an inquiry, but customer will become a prospect to me. Is it clear or a little clumsy
Yeah,
or?
little actually. To be honest, it's little because I'm trying to understand the steps here. So when you show the lead in the first place, then you choose the three things, right? Account, contact, and opportunity in a single click, where all these three records has been created.
Yes,
And in the middle of these three things, where the opportunity, sorry, prospect is coming.
opportunity is nothing but your prospect.
Okay, okay. I
Opportunity
thought
is the
about.
place. No, no.
Yeah.
Opportunity is the place, because if you see, there is nowhere I have given the information of my what is this? One second now. Let me share my screen. So only in the opportunity I can start adding the product details and all can be added only in the opportunity. As it is closed stage, it's not allowing me, I think. Okay. So I can add the product details we never mentioned anywhere, right? So we'll see how to add these products also. For example, if I
Okay,
want to
fine,
add the
fine.
product, he have to choose some existing products and all. So this is little clumsy. So as people will get confused, I kept it
I
aside.
know. Even my question is little advanced. I know that what I was thought of opportunity, the final thing where it's called deal. It's,
A kind of, yes, but see, as you have multiple stages, right? It can fall back at any point, correct? So we'll see how this. I think let me open some opportunities which I have closed properly. The pricing, IBM. Okay, I think some other of. It's okay. So why RAM is getting classic? Because I love classic because it is little faster. I mean, with the developer mind, I mean, if you are becoming a developer slowly, you'll go to classic itself. Compared to Lightning, classic is much more faster at the back end features, and there are some features which will work only in the classic. So I'll go with classic sometimes, but for you, it will always be a Lightning only. Let me open some opportunities where I have added products as well. I think this one, yeah. See, see if you see here, the amount now I'm not able to change because it is coming from the product. Okay, see, it got controlled from the product. It says I just have only one product, so it says 900. For example, if I want to add one more product, maybe the same product again, and say quantity as 10, I'll tell you how these things to be done. Okay, save. See, total I have 311. So 11 values, 99,000, 9,900. So it will get automated, because nowhere in the opportunity you will add the details of product. You will be having it as a sub product, because one deal can buy any number of products, right? So it's a huge discussion again. So I need at least one session to discuss about this. So I thought, okay, at least my intention is just to show, okay, there are some automations running at the backend. So I want to show you to take you to a position where you should feel like, okay, for tomorrow's session there is something curious happening that session. Okay, any questions, anyone?
no, no, no. I'm good.
Don't worry, we'll discuss about that. Okay, one session is more and more than enough to speak about the opportunity closure. That we'll discuss. And admin session is not fulfilled if I'm not discussing about a lead management process or a case management process. Like we'll see how this leads get generated, we'll see how this gets generated, what are the different ways these things will be generated, and how do we handle them. If it got delayed, how do we escalate them, all these things automatically. Okay, I mean, all
Yeah,
automations which helps you to automate the process, even automatically escalate the process.
yeah. So maybe if you go with a small sort of an example, like as you told that the computers example, sales example, then we'll be all the questions will be cleared out.
Definitely. Without, see, unless until I pick some example, I won't even discuss at least a single feature in the session. Okay.
Okay, sir.
No need to call me sir. Call me Ram. It's okay. Backend is Java,
No, I think he's
or
asking about
I would say
database.
Apex.
Database is what
Salesforce
is the
has its
database?
own database. We'll run the queries called SOQL, Salesforce Object Query Language. So Salesforce has its own database. It won't depend on any other technology. Earlier, it used to on Oracle, but now it has its own.
So if you pull the external data, so uh, because the moment I purchased the means the company started using Salesforce in any company, so definitely it needs an external data, correct? To know, so then we
That
have
is
to
where
load
we'll
the
go with
data into the
integrations.
Salesforce
No, that is where
integrations.
we
Okay,
need an integrations, right?
okay, that's a real environment. It's 15 MB won't be sufficient there then. So this is a
Yes.
development.
The same environment, but there you will have licensed versions, you'll have licensed APIs, all those things to play with.
Right, right.
See, it's all about communication. How you are communicating, like let's say how Shiva is communicating with me. That is like the same way. We'll see end of the day. I mean, in a bigger term, we'll say okay, it is with the database. But for me, it's I will say okay, how my table is speaking with the other table. Whether the other table,
Right.
I don't mind whether the table will be in my environment, my Salesforce org, or someone else's Salesforce org, or maybe in other technology itself completely. How you are communicating, that is where you'll have a lot of technical terms called integrations or using a middleware. And in that middleware you'll have multiple things again. Maybe you'll have to use Informatica or Bistalk or Tableau or whatever. You can come up with any random names. Technology changes, but work is same. Okay.
It has its own thing. I think Mule is a part of Salesforce. I believe like they will recommend the Mule, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to ask the same thing. Like, are you going to cover anything related to MuleSoft, like
No.
any basics or
MuleSoft is a complete different course, so that's not gonna
okay,
cover in this session. Okay, this session is for admin and development. I will give you basics of integration, but not MuleSoft. Okay, if you want
okay,
MuleSoft, you have to, because Mule itself will take at least around a month close to. So if we are including this here, then it will become 3 months or 4 months course.
okay. No, I just want
That
at
needs
least
a lot of
some
development knowledge as
basic.
well.
Okay, like kind of a basic on what exactly is a MuleSoft and how it is used, something like basics kind of.
Yep, it's an integration tool. I'll give you the basics.
Okay, thanks.
I can't show you the MuleSoft tool and all in this, as it is not a part of the course, but I'll give you a basic idea what is the mule is, how it will communicate, a very basic, a very, yeah. Okay, for others who are getting bored, don't worry, as it's the initial session, as I'm getting some questions, I'm here. uh, Session will be ended dot within 1 hour for sure, every day. Any questions, anyone? If no questions, we can drop off. Dropping off. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Let's go with the use case tomorrow and start an application. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.